Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Look, this week we've got our usual round of by-elections happening on Thursday across the English councils. I think we've got about 7, if I remember rightly. It's going to be a very, very good week, a very interesting week. But we've also got, this week, the by-election to the Welsh Assembly in the constituency of Caerphilly. This is going to be very interesting, but the thumbnail says it all, the banner down the bottom of the video says it all. This is going to be more pain for the Labour Party, for Keir Starmer. Labour's vote share is going to collapse. That much is absolutely certain. As to who's going to win, that may be a bit closer to call, and we're going to look at that in this video as well. Just before we get into the video, as you can see in the top right corner, we've got 9,900 subscribers at the moment. It's the channel's first birthday on the 12th of November. If we could get that number up to 10,000 subscribers before then as a first birthday present, that would be absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. That would be really, really cool. Thank you all of you for your support over the last year. It's been fantastic. So yeah, if we can get up to 10,000 by the 12th of November, that would be phenomenal. Thank you very much. Let's get into the video. So on the screen here, I've got the numbers up for that 2026 nowcast projection for the Caerphilly constituency in the Welsh Assembly, and you can see how close it is between Reform and Plaid. It's very much a two-horse race between those two, as it's going to be across most of Wales in its entirety next May. But let's go and refresh ourselves as to what happened 4 years ago when this Welsh Assembly was elected in its entirety. So in Caerphilly, Labour won here with 46% of the vote. A fairly comfortable victory, almost 20 points over Plaid, who finished in the second place. And just look at Reform. We'll just mention them down here. Now, I know a lot has changed between 2021 and 2025 with regards to Reform, but I think this really just goes to show how impactful and I think, it depends on what happens, because if they don't actually go on to win the national elections, then it won't be. But at the moment, what looks to be an era-defining surge in popularity from Reform. So 2021, 2022, beg your pardon, when this Senedd was last elected, 1.7% of the vote for Reform, 495 votes. Not troubling the scorers at all. Bottom of the pile in terms of constituency votes. And then if we compare all those numbers, so 46% for Labour, 28.4% for Plaid, the Tories on 17% were in third, and Reform on 1.7%. Compare that to the latest opinion poll that came out via Survation, I think it was last week. And you can see, like I say, the generational shift in voting patterns. Look, these numbers are incredible. For Reform, up 40% to lead the poll, 42%. Plaid improving by 10 points themselves, up to 38%. So Survation currently has Reform leading by about 4%. So they're backing Reform to win here in a couple of days' time. Labour down 34 points. Now, the crazy thing is, that is incredible, but it's not something that we're necessarily shocked by. If you watch the channel frequently, you know that we are quite used to seeing Labour's vote share dropping by at least 20 points, and in particularly bad ones, it does drop by 30 plus. So 34 points down is, like I say, a shocking thing for Labour, but it's not in 2025, late 2025. That's not surprising necessarily, but it is a huge drop for Labour from leading the poll with around about 44%, we said 46% of the vote, down to almost 10%. The Conservatives obviously were never close to winning here previously anyway, but again, fairly shocking for them to go down from 17%. As we saw previously, they're losing about 14% of their vote as well. And look, if you do the maths, which kind of oversimplifies it slightly, I think, because I think voting patterns tend to be a bit more sort of complex than this. But look, Reform have taken, I think, pretty much all the Conservative vote. If you put all the Conservative vote into Reform, that leaves you with another 26 points to find. Plaid have increased by 10, so if you take 10 off of Labour, that leaves 24 points of Labour's vote to go, and that goes to Reform. So Reform have taken all of the Conservative vote, and I think they've probably taken the majority of the Labour vote here as well. So again, this is what Reform have been able to do so successfully across England, and they're doing it in Wales too, is taking votes from the Conservatives and the Labour Party, and they're building these very, very big polling numbers. So just absolutely phenomenal shifts in voting patterns here in Caerphilly. Now we'll see obviously what the election result is on the Friday, but if this poll is anywhere close to being correct, then it's going to be a generational collapse in the Labour vote in Wales, and that spells big problems for them come a general election as well. If we assume that the National Assembly voting sort of is a proxy for or foreshadows general election voting, and we've already seen, haven't we, on the Nowcast, just how much that southern part of Wales is going towards reform away from Labour. Now, one thing I haven't really brought into videos up until this point is what the betting markets think. And mainly that's because we cover council by-elections, and frankly, you can't get these sort of betting chances for them because they don't get bet on, they're not big enough. But this Senedd election is, we are able to look at those numbers. So interestingly, obviously we just saw reform with about a 4-point lead according to the opinion poll. Now, I mean, certainly in America, if you follow the gambling money, that tends to be a better prediction of election results than the opinion polling. So look, the betting markets, as you can see here, hopefully you can see on the screen in some detail, it's over the last 24 hours, and Reform's chances of winning a couple of days out from the election is just around about 65%. Just below 70% is the implied chance of a Reform victory, according to the betting markets. If we go to the applied chart, they're sitting just below 35%. So the applied are not out of the race as far as the betting markets are concerned, but Reform are definitely being heavily backed. And I'll keep an eye on this over the next day or so, see if anything changes as we get closer to polling day. But at the moment, the betting markets and the opinion polls are backing Reform to win. Let me know in the comments who you think's going to win here in Caerphilly. But either way, it's going to be a dreadful result for Labour, and yet more pressure being put on the Keir Starmer and his government. It's going to be a huge collapse in Labour's vote in Wales for certain. And just before we wrap up this video, I just wanted to very quickly have a look at this Moseley by-election in Birmingham as well. We obviously very quickly looked at it at the end of the video on Friday, but again, I think this is going to be more bad news for Labour, basically, is why I wanted to bring it in. I thought it was on topic. Now, Labour are defending. Now, interesting, I didn't actually notice this when I went through this the other day at the end of the video, but so the Liberal Democrats actually have 46% of the vote here, and Labour have 38% of the vote. Now, that's because this is a two-candidate ward, or a two-councillor ward, and as you can see, the Liberal Democrats actually won or came top of the poll in 2022. And if you add up all the votes together, the Liberal Democrats got 46%. But Labour did get a councillor by coming in second on this poll, as you can see there. Now, obviously, that Labour councillor sadly has died, which is why the by-election's happening. If we just go back to this screen, look, there's a number of parties standing here. Again, I think Labour will lose. Now, in the context we've just seen there, it would suggest the Liberal Democrats are in a pretty good place to get another gain here. But I don't think you can write off Reform. And look, the Greens may well punish Labour. I don't know if they're in a good enough sort of spot to win, but the Greens could punish the Labour vote, and the independents and the localist parties as well. I don't think you can write them off in a place like Birmingham either. If we just go to the Nowcast quickly, you'll see how close this is. So Birmingham, Hall Green and Moseley is represented in Parliament by Labour MP Tahir Ali. He's infamous this year in campaigning for the UK government to fund an airport in Kashmir, Pakistan, and I think also for campaigning or asking a question about legalising cousin marriages and stuff. So interesting stuff coming out of Mr. Ali. But you can see he's just about hanging on in, as far as the Nowcast goes, he's hanging on in this constituency by about 4 points. But look how close it is. I mean, that way, if this were to happen, it would be winning the constituency with less than 20% of the votes, which would be incredible. And that's because it's so tightly split from second place down. So Reform are in second just about, but the Greens are there. The Guards Independents are second, beg your pardon. The Guards Independents second, Reform third, Greens are there or thereabouts. There's an independent candidate as well. Liberal Democrats not far behind, only really the Tories that are sort of out of the race, really. So it's so close here in Birmingham, Hall Green and Moseley. This is going to be a very interesting by-election for us to get stuck into on Friday as well. So do make sure you are subscribed to the channel for that. Remember, there is, like I said, I think about 7. So there's that Birmingham one. There's the one in Colchester, remember, where the Conservatives have the most seats, but it's a Labour Lib Dem coalition. And Reform obviously doing very well in that part of the country. That's going to be interesting. Fenland, which I think is Cambridgeshire, or that sort of area of the world. So Conservatives defending and no Liberal Democrats, which may benefit the Conservatives potentially. Portsmouth, we said, didn't we? Obviously, localists defending, but they're not standing this time. Reform doing very well. Labour just about hanging on in one of the Portsmouth constituencies. That could be quite tight or could be an interesting race. And then we've got Somerset, 2 Somersets, where I think the Liberal Democrats will win both. And Torridge down in Devon, where Independent stepping down, Independent standing again, so that kind of sways the vote. They may well hold on the independents potentially, but look, the Greens did very well here last time. The Liberal Democrats are standing, whereas they didn't last time. Obviously, the Liberal Democrats did very, very well in Devon in the county council elections in May, and of course Reform, who are currently projected to win the Torridge and Tavistock constituency according to the Nowcast. So look, we've got another busy week of by-elections this week. Do make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell hit so you don't miss that upload on Friday. And I look forward very much to going through all these results with you then. Please do take care, and I will see you on Friday for the results of these big by-elections.